Hi, lady. Good.
Hello, Dana.
Good evening. Good
How are
afternoon.
you?
Good morning. I don't know.
Hi, Dana.
How's everybody doing? Hi, him. All good? Everybody's good?
All good.
Good. All good.
Good. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. What's the weather like in Tokyo now?
We had snow yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, the
Yes.
past few days we had. Yesterday was just like flurries, just like little bits of snow, not real snow. But the 2 days before that, we had full on snow. And then today was super sunny. So I think they're just, it was like the last few goodbye days to winter.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, but I
Nice.
love snow, so I was really happy. I wasn't expecting it.
Mhm. Good.
nice.
Good. Who has a question for me, ladies?
Um, can I start?
Of course.
First, I want to share that, this Ramadan is very special because I'm so happy and proud of myself in terms of that I'm caffeine free.
Mm-hmm.
Cannot imagine that, that I don't drink any caffeine
This
and
is
I'm
your
functioning.
first time ever.
Yes, yes,
Amazing.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
Mm.
So my question is, can we eat bone broth?
This all depends on your symptoms, on if you have a current condition, diagnosed condition. So bone broth, again, like animal protein, it's on the
Mm,
acidic side. So you have to calculate, right?
mm,
You have to sort of look at your equation of how much food is coming from the acidic side of foods and how much is alkaline. So
yeah.
bone broth is one of those things that I think we talked about it. I think I mentioned it here before. It's really great for kids, okay? Because a lot of you moms are asking me now that you're eating this way and like should I also remove dairy for my kids, but what about the calcium, etc. So we need calcium, but we just don't need it from dairy. So one of the things that you can do if you want to remove dairy specifically for kids also is start to incorporate bone broth in their food because bone broth, if done properly, and I think I shared a recipe in the group because it has to be done in a way where you actually extract the calcium from the bones for it to be actually calcium rich. So incorporating bone broth, like if you're making them stews, if you're making them like cooked foods, instead of just water or vegetable broth or whatever, to use bone broth or just make them a soup. This is a great way to a replacement for the dairy, calcium, is to use bone broth for kids because kids technically, although there's a lot of kids because of the modern day eating, are quite inflamed, and a lot of kids are showing symptoms of asthma, of lack of concentration, ADHD, obviously being overweight, obesity, eczema, skin issues, pre-diabetes, even diabetes. I'm seeing this in, 10, 12, 15-year-olds, sometimes even younger. All of these are signs of major inflammation in the body, the same way it's showing for adults. But technically, their bodies, just because they haven't lived as long, are not as full of toxins as we are. And children don't have the added issue that we have sort of as women in perimenopause and menopause of the hormones. So
Mhm.
let's just say they can afford to consume homemade, really healthy bone broth on a regular basis. Whereas we wouldn't necessarily because of the hormone issue, because our hormones have reached a tipping point, our hormones are not balancing on their own. To add in bone broth also, which is like, we're really extracting the essence of the animal, it would be problematic for us. But
Mm.
definitely, I would say incorporate it in your kids' food.
Yeah. Okay. I have another question. Can I?
Go ahead.
Okay. 3 years ago, I got COVID, and it caused me like um, two scars on the. I had like something like clots on my right lung.
Hmm. Yeah.
I had two clots.
Hmm.
Um, and I still have like two small patches on the lung so
Okay.
far. So is there anything I can do, Yani, for, with the diet to cleanse my lungs?
I
Or
mean, this is slightly, out of my scope, but I can just tell you generally that the lungs, like any organ in your body, are made up of cells, and the
Mm,
cells, just like all the other cells in your body, yes, do need to be fed in a very, very non-inflammatory way. For lungs especially, they need oxygen. So the more oxygen rich your food is, the faster the healing, the better for your lungs. And oxygen-rich food is mostly raw food,
mm,
right? Plants, greens, fruits always, vegetables. These are the foods that are full of oxygen. Anything that's cooked will automatically be devoid of oxygen.
right.
Yeah,
Okay. Thank you, Dana. Thank you
you're
so
welcome.
much.
You're welcome. Riham, apart from cooked tomatoes, what else is on the acidic side? The acidic side, Riham, is all animal protein, all dairy, all processed sugars, all processed foods, obviously junk food, seed oils, beans, legumes, nuts, corn, like the whole list of foods that we've removed, eggs, all of that list is acidic foods. So, we have that spectrum from alkaline to acidic. We need your internal terrain to be more alkaline than acidic because disease cannot take hold in an alkaline terrain. An alkaline terrain is not eroding as fast as an acidic terrain. And your terrain, the acidity or alkalinity of your terrain is determined by the acidity or the alkalinity of the foods you're eating. So, yes, everything on the no list. Yes. No. So the foods that are so like citrus fruits, for example, right? Citrus fruits are acidic when they're if you're just holding a lemon or holding an orange. As soon as you put it in your body, as soon as you consume it, it turns alkaline inside the body. Tomatoes are naturally alkaline when you cook them on very high heat, the way we do with our Egyptian cooking, they turn acidic. Um, what are the other ones? It's mostly the citrus fruits and tomatoes that will turn acidic when cooked. But when we say acidic food, it is that whole list, all of it. Um, and even I'm going to say if tomatoes, when they turn acidic, they're still never going to be as bad as the foods on the list because it's still a tomato at the end of the day. Yeah. I read that mushrooms are not good for you. Is that true? No, mushrooms are very, very good for you. Very, very healing. So mushrooms are not just the plant kingdom, um, and they're not actually a vegetable. Mushrooms are fungus, a type of fungus, and fungus can be, obviously there are some mushrooms that are poisonous, right? So the edible mushrooms are very healthy for you and very healing. Maria, go ahead.
Yes, hi.
Hi.
So Dana, I have been buying the original tahini, but I found wool green tahini. What's that? It's brownish. Is it better than the original one?
I have no idea what that is.
I don't. It's the same but made from I don't know wool green. I don't know tahini,
You
sesame
want
seed.
the tahina can only be made from sesame seeds and that's it.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
Okay. I
Yeah.
found brown tahini, so
Yeah.
no.
No.
And another question, you think I'm using the cleansing, the castor and the almond and the coconut. You think, Dana, the castor can irritate my skin? This is causing the all over the acne here.
Well, you wouldn't know right away because it has to do a purge. So when you
Yeah.
first start cleaning your skin this way with any kind of natural oil or very, very natural skincare, botanical sort of sources, there is a period where the skin purges. So it's difficult to know. I would say if it lasts more than 3 or 4 months, and it's not the purging is not easing up, then it could be an irritation. But if it's still the first week, then that could be just purging.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Dana, what's your recommendation for legumes and beans per
Limit,
week?
limit, right? They're still on the acidic side. So the legumes and animal protein those are the foods that are, like I said, let's say they're sort of under the umbrella of foods we've evolved with eating, okay? They're not necessarily going to make you sick, but they're not going to heal you either. So if you still have symptoms, if you still have a chronic condition, these either need to be eliminated completely or you bring them in once your symptoms start to reverse. If you think of your plate, right? And think of your plate as divided into four, you would you would be eating three-fourths of that plate would be fruits and vegetables, and then just that little section would be either animal protein or legumes and beans. So they would never
Okay.
be the majority or the bulk of what you're eating.
Okay. And what about cranberries and zabib and all this stuff?
The you have to be careful that they're not full of sulfates and not full of added sugars.
Okay, thank you.
And they're also not very healing because the reason why fruits and vegetables are extremely healing is because of the hydration they contain. So all of the healing powers and the vitamins and the minerals and the enzymes and all of it is in the hydration that's in the fruit. So when you dehydrate a fruit, what you're doing essentially is you're removing the healing powers of the fruit. Like it's not going to harm you, but it's also, again, not going to heal you. So you just need to know that. So it's a fun, like if you want to have a different kind of snack, you want to have a snack that's healthy, you would do that. But they would not replace your daily intake of raw fruits.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. How much olive oil can we consume? I would say no more than 1 tablespoon a day maximum, of either one. If you are still ghee again, it's in the category of animal protein, bone broth, etc. So again, this is going to depend on your current condition. Are you still trying to heal from chronic symptoms, or have you started to reverse or not? And you would work that into that equation. Rehan, how can I control the cravings that I have while having my period? A day before the period, I crave chocolate, and first and second day, very heavy cravings of carbs. Have you started magnesium yet, Riham?
No, not yet.
Okay, start the magnesium. Okay, because you've
Okay.
established a very strong food foundation. So this is, remember at the very beginning when I told you at some point we tweak a little bit when we see something still not quite balanced. This
Mhm.
is very symptomatic of a magnesium deficiency, especially when you crave chocolate, because chocolate is actually full of magnesium. There's a direct correlation. We know that if you crave chocolate, that automatically means the body is not getting enough magnesium. So start on a magnesium supplement, like a tablet. So
Okay.
the magnesium oil wouldn't be sufficient in this case. You can still use it, but also we want it systemically. So take in a magnesium supplement as well. And
Okay.
for
And
the
that will
time
work for the
being,
carb.
because you have to build a reserve of the magnesium in order for the cravings to start to decrease. In the meantime, so your next period, you might still feel this. A month into magnesium, potentially you might still have the same symptoms. I would say go for potatoes the week leading up to your period because potatoes are great, and they're great for sort of calming you down. They're great at holding off the cravings. When you crave carbs like rice and bread, potatoes can really hit the spot also. So when you have that, just have as many potatoes as you want.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Angie, I can feel much more hydrated this Ramadan than any other, right? And once you're hydrated, that's it. The hunger goes away, the headaches go away, the fatigue goes away. Yeah, amazing.
Then when I have, let's say, the smoothie for iftar,
Mm.
what do you think would be the best suhoor in that case? Because I don't really have suhoor like late, like 3 or 4 a.m. I just have something around like 11 p.m.
What do you
So,
usually have at 11 p.m.?
well, I usually have iftar and that's it
Mm.
as the meal.
Okay.
But when I have a smoothie, like a couple of days ago, I had to be out at iftar time. So I just took my smoothie and some dates, and it was amazing. I felt really, really good.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what to eat when I'm back at home, you know?
You can have another
I,
smoothie. You can have another smoothie. So if that happens again, if you feel like it feels really good just to have a smoothie at fitr time, you can either repeat it again at suhoor time or have another big bowl of fruits or do both. Or if you end up having your normal fitr, then have a smoothie before you go to sleep so you don't skip suhoor.
Excellent. Okay, thank you.
Zainab, when we blend the fruits, does it lose some of its benefits or is it just a myth? No, the fruits, raw fruits and vegetables will start to lose their benefits when you add heat. So maybe when you blend a bit, there's a little bit of heat in there, but they're not being cooked. So it's not like cooking them. So when you cook fruits and vegetables, automatically the heat will kill off some of the nutrients. And then when you juice or blend fruits and vegetables and then you put them in your little, glass or jar or whatever, and you leave them exposed to the air, they will start to oxidize. And then that's when they start to lose some of their benefits also. So typically, that's why you want to drink your smoothie or your juice within half an hour. Otherwise, put it in an airtight jar and in the fridge because within half an hour, when it mixes with the air and starts to oxidize, that's when it starts to lose some of its benefits, but not from the process of juicing or the process of blending.
Yeah, even for fruits that are fibrous like orange and all that sort.
No, sorry, what's the question?
I'm saying even that goes even for the fruits that are a little bit fibrous in texture, like oranges, for
Yeah.
example.
You mean the 30-minute oxidization?
No, I mean when we blend.
Yeah. No, nothing happens because your body's already a blender. Zainab, so let's say you eat the orange versus blending it, your body will automatically juice and blend that orange anyway. It will extract the juice and it will separate the fiber and it will eliminate the fiber and just keep the juice. So your body already does that. You have a built-in juicer and blender anyway. The reason we do it ahead of time, ahead of ingesting it, is when we see symptoms, like the whole list of symptoms that I'm always talking about, or when we see direct digestive, like the digestive system is overburdened. We pre-blend it instead of letting the body do it. We do it in a blender and then consume it so that we save the body some energy. So the body doesn't have to do all of the hard work of blending and juicing. It can just absorb right away. So the act of blending or juicing doesn't remove any of the benefits.
Thank you, Dana.
You're welcome.
I was worried because they always say like when you blend the fruits, especially for the ones like oranges, you are only taking the sugars out of the fruits and reaping the benefits.
Well, let's break that down. Even if that's true, okay, the sugar in oranges is extremely healthy. This is not dangerous sugar. Even if this argument is true, it's not, but let's assume that it is. The sugar in fruits, in any fruits, in oranges, in any fruit, is the sugar your body identifies as fuel. It is not toxic. It is not inflammatory. It doesn't cause weight gain. It doesn't cause diabetes. It doesn't do anything except fuel the body, fuel your brain, give you energy, and heal. So whichever way they want to flip this argument, it doesn't work. Blend it, eat it whole, juice it. It's all good.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions, ladies? Shares, wins. When is the next round? Probably not till September, Inji, because I'm here with my daughter. Inshallah, she's gonna have the baby soon. I'm gonna be here until May, in Tokyo. And usually what I do is I usually run a detox right after Ramadan is finished, typically, historically. But because I'm going to be here, it's going to be very difficult for me to do that, to start, like usually I do it the week right after Eid is over. So I'm not going to do that this year, so probably not until September, inshallah.
Dana, can I ask something?
Of course.
So your calls and your Zoom, being there like twice, even now, like twice a week have been like very helpful in trying to, whenever I mess up in the middle or whenever you're there for support. How can we, after we finish the program,
Mm.
what do we do? How can we like, when we have those bad days and you mess up with food or anything, how do we get back on track, like on our own?
So okay. The quick answer to that is, I always say this at the end of the programs anyway. I tell everybody in my programs that not just because the program is finished, not just because the Facebook group shuts down, it doesn't mean you still can't reach out to me for support. So I will always answer an email or a message from anybody who needs help from me, whether they're an actual client, a client from 10 years ago, somebody I don't even know. So you can still reach out to me for help and support. So don't feel like once the program is done or, I think the only thing that might make a difference this time is is really the extent of which I'm going to be on grandma duties, that might get in the way sort of my availability. But yeah, no, you can always reach out to me if, I've had clients who were like doing incredibly well, everything was moving wonderfully, and then like 6 months in, something happens, because life happens. And yeah, 6 months in, you can message me and we'll have a conversation and I'll give you as much time as you need to figure out, what the trigger was, what the glitch was, how you can get back on track. So my door is always open, let's put it that way. And then the other thing that women have done is typically, if I've had programs back to back, they will sign up again. And I've had women who have signed up for like 5 or 6 programs in a row, even though they understand how to eat, even though they figured out the detoxing, they like to just stay in the community for support. They like to continue to have access to other women who are going through this journey. They know that like my Zoom sessions are always a little bit different from program to program, so they like to keep themselves in that energy. So I know that's not an option this time necessarily, but that is something that you could do. That's it. And then, so the other thing I want you to think about, because even if you work with me for like 6 programs in a row, at some point, you need to become independent in this process. So at some point, you need to ask yourself, like, what is it you feel you get from me that helps you get back on track, that you can start to learn how to give yourself? So what is it in a conversation you have from me? What is it in the feedback you get from me that you can slowly start to train yourself to empower yourself to do that for yourself as well?
Yeah, I mean, it's like you're conscious. You represent, it's like
Yeah.
you represent my conscious there, when we
Yeah.
have these calls. And then so like the day that we have the call, and it's not that I mess up a lot, but it's like having the call, it's just discipline
Yes.
and conscious.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. So I would say, to start, I will be checking messages. I will be checking email once the program is over. So by all means, use that as a resource to help you as you're still, there is a little bit of transition for everybody from being in the program and having that discipline, like you said to him, and then not being in the program. So as much as you need it, definitely make use of it. And then if you feel like you need to go in full on again in September, do that. I am actually also currently, because a lot of my old clients have been asking me to create a program for the ladies who have done this detox many times over. So I actually did create a program that started in January that is sort of for the alumni. So they're sort of my guinea pigs. It's a 6-month program, and we're in the 3rd month of it now. So I'm kind of testing this alumni program. And so depending on how I feel it goes, that will also be an option for the lady. So the only nobody can join that program unless they've done this program first. So that would also be another option starting September, for you to see sort of what level support you need and what kind of it's different, the program. The alumni program, I'm calling it alumni program because I haven't figured out a name for it yet. It's very different than this program. So that would also be an option for you moving forward.
Thank you. Thank you. That would be great because, I did your programs a number of times before.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
always the discipline that, that makes me just fall through. But
Yeah.
this time I feel it's different than the
Yeah.
other times. Hopefully it won't happen, but the alumni program sounds good.
Yeah. I will
Thank
keep everybody posted about it as it progresses and as we complete it, and I sort of have the structure around it, and I will definitely be talking to all the alumni about it for the next round. I really crave samosas. What can I do? When there's a really, really strong craving for something like this and the craving doesn't go away, go and have it. Go and have it. Because there is, remember, there's nothing wrong with food. There's no good food or bad food. You're not being good or bad because you're not being good because you don't want it, and you're not being bad because you crave it. Your body, for whatever reason, is trying to balance something. You do want to think about, is the craving physical or is the craving emotional? Emotional could also be that it's simply tied to this time of year. So it could be that, 3 weeks ago you never even thought of having it, but because it's Ramadan, we do have emotional connections. We have memories of how we connect to food, how we connect to tradition, how we connect to family events. So ask yourself, if that's what it is, then get clear on it. So don't just go and have it without understanding where that craving is coming from, and then go have it. And then once you have it, then again, because we're just trying to, we're trying to move into really mindful eating, you want to understand what happens to your body after you eat it. Did you get the physical satisfaction? Did it satisfy you emotionally? Did it, really hit the spot for an emotional memory, or, reminding you of something in your childhood? Great. But then you also want to take stock of, how did it make you feel after I ate it? Was my body able to absorb it and process it minimally with minimal symptoms, or did it feel like it was really heavy? Did I wake up the next day really thirsty, really dehydrated, really tired, with a headache, constipation? All of this is feedback. So when and if you have these cravings and it's strong and it's not passing, have the food that you're craving, but have it very mindfully, and then have it, and you want to do the post-craving, debriefing, as they say, so that you can understand what's happening with your body. Very emotional. So if it's very emotional, you want to tap into that. What specific emotion? So it's emotional, but what is the emotion? Okay. And is it specific to the season? Is it specific to Ramadan? Is it specific to people? Is it specific to gatherings, maybe specific, very particular gatherings with certain people? And then when you have it, does it fulfill that emotional craving or not? If it doesn't, then this is when we have to look deeper, because you can go and have 100 of them and still have the craving. And we know that food doesn't really fulfill emotional cravings. It might, if it's very specific to a season, to an event or something. But if you have it and the emotional craving is still very strong and you want to keep having it, then it's time to look deeper into the emotional trigger. And is there another way to fulfill that emotional need that doesn't include food? Very normal, though, by the way. Very normal. Our bodies are going to remember. We have memories. Food memories are very strong. So around birthdays, special occasions, Ramadan, Eid, you might just find yourself something you haven't thought of all year, and suddenly you really want it. This is normal, stored memory, stored emotions. We're not robots. Our body remembers, our organs remember. So there's nothing wrong with that, but you want to be able to gauge to what extent it's serving you and to what extent it might be holding you back or not letting you pay attention to something that really needs deeper looking on your side. Angie, very true. Yeah. Once you get really mindful about it, you'll get that craving for something special on a special occasion, you'll be able to just eat it and move on. It will hit the spot for, the satisfaction you want for a childhood memory, for remembering someone, reminding you of something special. It will hit the spot and you move on. The issue is if it doesn't and if it persists. And then if it persists and you keep giving into it, and then it creates the physical symptoms. So that's eventually what happens with emotional eating. It's not just about trying to suppress an emotion. It's about you regularly, consistently try to suppress an emotion to then where you haven't solved the emotional issue. And then on top of it, because of the amount usually that we consume to suppress our emotions, the amount of foods that are not healthy, you end up with a physical issue as well. So this is where the emotional eating and physical symptoms are related. And this is why you can't solve one without the other. Are we complete for today, ladies?
Dana, I do have a question.
Please.
When you mentioned like the wins and takeaways from the program, I think one of the main ones I got out of this program is how I became much, much more aware of my food patterns and cravings and how I'm eating and my plate and everything. However, also along the way, I discovered something that is deeply, deeply rooted in my mind, which is in order to get protein or build muscles, especially when I'm training, I have to eat animal protein. Like it's just like really, really deep down that, okay, I can never get enough protein from fruits and vegetables, or I cannot like build muscles and reach my goals at the gym if I'm not eating animal protein. And this is something I know we talked about before, but I just want to like on the other side deeply understand like how this works, like how we can get protein from fruits and veggies versus animal protein.
I think I shared this in the group. I'll remind me if you haven't seen it, tag me and I'll share it again. I had a basic chart that tells you sort of the fruits and vegetables that are very high in protein. The other thing is whenever I'm just like a source of information for you, right? Like the same way that the sources that have been telling you you need animal protein, you can't build muscle without animal protein, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm not a definitive source, and neither are they. For all of you, the only definitive source on your body is you. Only. So I would experiment with it. Like, so what is your body telling you? Like the only sort of proof you're going to have of whether, this works or this works, or maybe it's a combination of both, is your own direct experience of it. So what is your body telling you? So don't I tell you always like my whole issue with conventional medicine, emergencies aside, acute situations aside, surgery aside, with chronic conditions, is that you're always made to feel that you are helpless and that you don't understand your body and that you can't understand your body and that there's nothing you can do to heal your body. And so you always have to outsource. You always have to go to an outside source to give you the solution for your chronic conditions and symptoms. And obviously, in conventional medicine, that solution is just a big band-aid, doesn't actually solve. And so you keep going back, continuing to outsource your health. So what you don't want to do is, because I see a lot of people who come into, they want to then move away from conventional medicine and they want to learn how to heal their bodies and understand their bodies. And they work with, alternative health practitioner, health coach. Then like they start to outsource to us. Okay. So you don't want to do that, or me, who, or anybody else you might be listening to. We're still an outsource for you. Okay. You're coming and you're learning from us. We're holding space. We're showing you another way. But don't again ever fall into, I'm not saying that you have, just a generalization, fall into the trap of outsourcing, like just shifting. Instead of outsourcing to a doctor, now I'm outsourcing to, the health guru I'm following. You're the only health guru, an expert when it comes to your body. So when you're faced with this, if you're confused, right? So somebody has said that I need all this animal protein. Now then is saying that, animal protein is acidic and it could cause issues and I can still be just as built in the gym without it. You don't need to take my word for it. You don't need to take their word for it. You need to take your own direct experience as the word for you. And this is like across the board with everything when it comes to your body and your health. You are your only expert. You are the only one who is having the direct experience in your body. So you are the only one who gets to say, right, for me, actually, I realized I'm going to go back to animal protein. You get to make that decision. Actually, you know what? I'm going to the gym and I'm toning up and I'm feeling really strong without any animal protein. So don't let it be a tug of war between who, what I'm saying, what somebody else is saying. It's all about what you are experiencing and you are feeling.
Okay, I guess why I also asked this question, because ever since I was a kid and anything happens to me or I do have any type of wound, my mom would make me eat like chicken with the chicken soup. Like this is the only thing that can heal you, and I can go for chicken for days. She is forcing me to eat it.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying to you, like I discovered that it's deeply, deeply rooted that in order to heal, in order to get muscles, in order to whatever, I have to eat animal protein in whatever source of way, especially chickens.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is true for most of us. I think we all grew up, having chicken soup when we're sick, eating lots of protein, eat your protein to grow big and strong. I don't know where that actually, I don't know where the origins of that is. But now we know because we have proof. Again, we have proof of people's direct experience of healing the biggest imbalance in the body, which is cancer, and doing it intentionally, having to remove animal protein in order to do that. So we know that the body can heal itself without it. We have people who have direct experience of that, and you can't deny a direct experience of something. So this is why also animal protein is not, it is within the umbrella of foods we have evolved with. Remember, we said that we have evolved as a species eating animal protein. The issue is how much we've been eating it. The issue is how the animal protein is grown, what our food is eating. So, this chicken you're eating, what is it eating that ends up in you? Combined with the processed food, combined with, junk food, has created this sort of storm inside us where something that we used to eat regularly in its most basic form was not an issue and has become an issue. So I think this is the biggest thing here. But can animal protein regenerate and heal? Chemically not possible. Because in order for your cells to regenerate, when we talk about healing, we talk about the regeneration of cells. You cannot regenerate from something that's dead on the most basic level, right? Is it something you can still eat and enjoy and it's got some kind of benefit? Potentially. But can you regenerate with animal protein? No.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Can we have cottage cheese? So cottage cheese is still a dairy. I know it's one of those dairies that are marketed as healthy for you, high protein, blah, 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 blah. Still dairy, still inflammatory. All dairy is inflammatory. All cheeses. Anything made with milk, especially for everybody. For women, it can lead to estrogen dominance, which can lead to fibroids, which can lead to endometriosis, PCOS, breast cysts, breast cancer. For men, it would lead to prostate issues. Children who consume a lot of dairy are always going to have lots of colds and lots of runny noses, lots of sore throats. So it's not worth it. Like, let's just put it that way. Dairy is not worth the taste is not worth what it can do to your body.
Dana, I do have a question regarding the bloating I have from the PCOS and the
Mm,
IBS.
mm.
When should I normally expect an improvement? Because this is one of the things, like, I really want to set an expectations for myself in order not to be over expecting also.
I would say as a start, if it's still really, really, really uncomfortable, if you're not seeing even a little bit of improvement, then I would stick more with, I would remove the raw salads for IBS specifically. Okay. So remove the raw salads and any fruit or vegetable that you're going to have raw, have it in a blended state or juiced state. Okay. So have your smoothies, have some juices, and have more soups and cooked vegetables than salads. I would say remove salads for now. And then I would say for immediate relief, oh, you had told, did you try the castor oil just on your belly button? Was it just as effective?
No, I don't think it have been as effective as just massaging it into my stomach.
So then did you
Like,
try
it's
doing
not
it just
giving me as much relief.
yeah. Did you then do it just for fewer, like instead of overnight, just do it for
Yes, yes, this is what I'm doing currently.
okay. So just do that. Are you drinking lemon balm?
Yes.
Okay.
But
So you're on the
also, speaking of lemon balm, can I consume it more than once between iftar and suhoor?
yes.
Or
Yes.
is it high? Because herbal teas are normally dehydrating. So is that goes
No.
also for lemon
No,
balm?
that's fine. Lemon balm is fine. I would definitely do more, smoothies, juices, soups, cooked vegetables. Remove all the salads for you, I would say for now. If the bloating is still really bad with IBS, remove um all raw vegetables unless they are blended or juiced.
That goes also for broccoli, mushrooms, asparagus?
No, those you're gonna cook them, right? So those are cooked. I'm saying
Okay.
any vegetable that you would naturally consume raw. So in a salad, get rid of it and only have your vegetables if they're in a smoothie or juiced.
Okay. But will the soup be as equally healing as like eating the vegetables and the
Well,
salads? Or are we
you're
focusing
you're
more on the
still
bloating?
yeah, we want to focus on the healing for a bit. We don't want to irritate with IBS. So you're going to get, as long as you're having smoothies and you're having, I would say you want to add at least two smoothies, maybe, and just a green juice. Why don't you tag me in tomorrow and I can tell you sort of give you a recipe for a basic green juice that you can add. If do you have a juicer?
No, I don't have a juicer.
Okay. So then we want to do a couple of smoothies so that you're getting the healing nutrients in this is when I say the body's already blending. So it's any great example of this when somebody's got IBS, their blender and their juicer, their internal blender and juicer is completely overworked. Completely. It's having a really hard time doing its job of extraction, of processing. So this is the perfect time when we remove the burden and just give the digestive system and give the body already pre-blended, pre-juiced, almost pre-digested foods in the form of a smoothie or juice, so that all your body has to do is absorb all the healing properties without doing or there's no effort involved at all. Okay. So tag me in a post tomorrow and I'll tell you, obviously the smoothie you're doing, you can keep that. We can add another one and add another green juice and then add soup. Vegetable, you're still going to get benefits, right? We know that when you heat, it's not as much as something raw, but it doesn't mean that there's devoid of benefit. You're still going to get benefit. But if you blend a soup, right, or even the vegetables that you're eating, the broccoli, the mushrooms, all of that, if you blend them into a soup, it's going to be much easier for your body to process them than if you eat them whole. Because your body is still recovering and your digestive system is still quite inflamed. It still needs your support, external support, until it gets strong enough and then it can digest and blend and process completely independently.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I have another question. So, starting the day, I'm going to start the 9 days of deep detoxing again.
Okay.
Can I only do smoothies? Because it's fine for me to only do smoothies. However, I feel like I do need to consume like 3 or 4 smoothies in order to feel full.
100%. If you're only going to do smoothies and or juices, then 4 a day is the minimum amount. You can do 4 to 6. Yeah. Definitely you could do that.
Thank you, Dana.
You're welcome. Thank you for everything you taught. You're welcome. You're very, very welcome.
Dana, I have a question. Because I can't really track my symptoms since it's a hormonal imbalance. So I should wait till the period comes in regular time, which I won't be able to track maybe in 3 or 4 months. But I think it's maybe lack of fat. What do you recommend as best of diet to do
For what specifically, Maria? For your period?
for balancing hormones? Yeah, giving that I think that it was due to lack of fat.
And it wouldn't necessarily be lack of fat. I mean, I remember in your case, it was many things that were happening at the same time.
Yes.
Lack of fat would not necessarily be in it. I was just reading about a woman who did not have a period at all, and then it took her 1 whole year to bring back her period. Eating nothing but fruits and vegetables, no fat at all. So yours is there. Yours is there. It's just late. It's not coming on regularly, right? So
Yes.
it can take that long. It can't take that long.
No, it comes more frequent. It comes like 20, 21 days.
Okay. And before it was what? Remind me.
It was the same. It used to come like twice a month and then month off, and then it's completely not regular. But it used to come twice a month.
And now every 20
Now,
days?
the first cycle it came 21 days, and now I'm waiting for the second cycle.
Okay.
Today is the 19th day.
Okay. So just keep tracking it. I mean, you've only been doing this, what? This is our 3rd month?
Yeah.
Yeah. Be patient. Be patient.
Okay. So only fruits and vegetables. It's okay.
Yeah, totally okay.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Riham, where can I find the castor oil pack? Yeah, I've never done if you're talking about the one you see on social media, I've never done that one. Castor oil pack, I've always just done you just take the castor oil, like I do it before bed. Make sure you have a t-shirt that you don't care if it gets stained with oil. You can use it, maybe keep 1 or 2 t-shirts that you alternate. I just put the castor oil all over my abdominal area. Right before I go to sleep, massage it in, and literally, like I'll do it from like right under, like where my ribs start all the way down to uh like over like my ovaries and my uterus and all of that, and then down the sides and maybe down here where the kidneys are. and then put on a very like light t-shirt that you can press down so it sticks, and then put on something in this weather, obviously put on something warmer on top. You can either just go straight to sleep with it like that. That's what I do. If you want to give it like a bit of an extra boost, then put a hot water bottle on top for about 30 minutes before you go to sleep. Avoiding belly button. No, keep belly button. You also want to put a little bit inside the belly button. You don't need to avoid the belly button. Belly button is also important. All over, put some in the belly button. Either go straight to sleep with it, or you have some time, you want to make it a little bit more potent. Put the hot water bottle on the side with your liver for about 30 minutes, and then put the bottle away and go to sleep. You're welcome. You're welcome, Angie. I think we're wrapping up the call anyway. Any other questions for me, ladies? All right, I will see you all on Tuesday, inshallah. Same time, same place. All right, ladies, you're welcome. Take care. Bye, ladies.
Thank you, Dana.
Bye.